Hey, Mr. Jeff, how are we doing today?
What's going on, buddy?
Not much. I haven't seen you in a minute. We are here to look at one of the coolest, I'm going to call it an angelfish fish room, but there are other fish, but majority wins, you know what I mean?
Majority, for sure.
It is one of the best angelfish fish rooms that I have ever been in. When I say one of, it is. I mean, literally, I'm walking through and I see fish that are laying, fish that are moving, babies, well, of course, babies everywhere, but it is literally amazing. So I'm going to walk through here first and show everybody what's going on, but just please tell people what the heck got you into angels, because this is amazing. How many different species, how many different, it's amazing. What got you into it here?
What got me into angels? Wow, that's a hard question. I've always loved them because they're majestic, and they're a little different.
Majestic. Yeah. That's perfect. Yeah.
So those guys in the corner are laying again over there too.
Yeah, I saw him. I walked in the door and I was like, man, they're literally laying on the filter up there.
Yeah.
Wow.
And there's he's very interested in what you're doing right here.
Which guy? Oh yeah. Right, look at this. I love it when males do this. We talked about this another time. He is just like, wow. He's like, get away from us. And he's very, this is your daughter who writes these?
My daughter
I'm mean. I'm protective. That's so amazing, that behavior. So they're majestic.
Yeah.
What really started this off? Like, where did we start? Because you don't just get here in a day.
No, this was not a
That's
day.
Amazing.
Maybe a month.
Maybe a month. Right.
I don't know if you remember all the way back, probably really one of the first times we ever met. I walked in your shop and I said, hey, I told you who I was. I was like, I used to breed angels a long time ago, and I'm going to do it again.
I do remember
and
that.
I'm sure that went in your ear and out the other, because I'm sure you hear it 1,000 times.
All the time. That's right.
That people are going to breed angels. So, yeah, obviously this building was purposely designed for this specifically, to raise angelfish. And hey, I'm getting older. 1 level is great. 3 levels is not. Working off a ladder is not for me. So
that's exactly right.
My goal with angelfish now is, I want to be ahead of the curve. I want to be the guy that brings the premium fish, the panois, the kois. The kois are always here, but the panoi,
yeah, of course, you've got the koi evidenced by this.
Yeah,
That's amazing.
So
and he is also mean. He's a good dad. Wow.
Yeah, he will really bite you if you put your finger in there.
That is amazing.
And it doesn't feel good. So
you want to be the guy that breeds angels.
I want to be the guy that brings. Let me rephrase that. I want to be the guy that brings premium fish at a reasonable price. I want people to be able to enjoy a blue panoi, a blue marble. I want them to be able to come to your store and buy it at a price that's not that astronomical price.
That's right. There's a lot of gatekeeping, I think, in the hobby around breeding these different species, different kinds of any fish, really, plecos, angels, whatever. But you have the goal of breeding them. This is so amazing. This is really so cool. But breeding them where everyone can have them, because I would imagine, here's a good question, is there a difference between breeding like this angel versus that angel versus the, you know what I mean? Like, is there a difference in them, or is it just viability?
What do you mean a difference? Like, is it what the output's going to be, or?
Well, I guess that's what I mean by
difficulty or cost, or.
Well, we know what the cost is for each one, but I feel like a lot of that is gatekeeping, as far as people want to keep that cost up versus it actually being harder to breed this one versus that one.
Right. It's absolutely no harder to breed any of them.
Right.
It's just absolutely not. Any will breed.
Right.
And they just have to be in the right circumstances.
Right environment.
Right environment. Right environment makes it happen.
Hey, by the way, that's a really nice shirt that you're wearing
Oh
there.
yeah, there's this little guy over there in East Ridge. He's got a little shop over there, you know.
Yeah,
That
he's.
owner-
I hear he's
I
a
hear the
jerk.
owner's a bit of a jerk. Yeah. No, Ethan's great. Ethan helps me do what I do.
Oh.
And I've never been. I do some individual stuff, but my real thing is I like my fish to go through a store. I like for you to go to Fish Mania knowing you're going to buy my fish and knowing where it came from.
That's right.
I'd rather it go through the store.
Well, I appreciate that.
That's what I want to do. And
I appreciate you putting your trust in me to sell your fish because they are a great quality.
You move them well. I mean, there's no doubt about that. They move right on.
Well, thank you. Well, in any case, let's talk about, since I've pretty much seen everything. We've got everywhere from, we'll look at each one. But tell me about each type of setup you have, because you really have kind of, I would say, four different kinds of setups.
Yeah.
But what have we got here?
So obviously, basically the whole top row that are 20-gallon setups. Every one of them are set up exactly the same filter, same everything.
Mm-hmm.
And that allows me to move fish from one tank to another if I need to, and it doesn't disrupt them as bad because they don't figure it out as bad. And basically the top row are my breeder sets.
Wonderful.
Everything in the lower rows is usually a grow out tank or a mingling tank, as I like to call it, like these guys over here. They're some of them are retired, some of them are still kind of young, and I like to put them together to see what happens sometimes.
Right.
And then there's grow out, and then these guys over here, they basically go into tins when they're really small. And these ones right here have just been moved into glass tanks here.
We can see them probably better from the top.
Yeah, from the top. Yeah. So those are all Pinoy there, and sometimes I have to write it down to remember what I have because in each tank, but sometimes I can just recognize what they are.
Right. That's something that I want to talk about too, because you have a great system. You have a lot of systems that help you to remember, but also just keep them. And here's some that are a little larger.
Yeah, those guys there. That is a mix. They call it a ghost Pinoy, or some people call it a Bulgarian seal point Pinoy, but it's definitely not because it's not the right species.
Oh,
because
I see.
Bulgarian seal is a Piscalar, and these are not.
So when they're saying that, they're saying it off of the color.
They're saying it off the color because of what it looks like, but it's really not.
But Bulgarian seal to you would mean the species and the color.
Exactly.
Wow.
And I would call them, basically a strapless Pinoy.
Those ones are just beginning to look like angels.
Yeah, those are...
Look at those brine shrimp bellies.
Those are bell-tail stripes right there.
Wow.
I took those the last time when they bred them just because I haven't run any bells in a while, and I thought it would.
Yeah.
And those are all koi. The koi that you saw on that other thing, that is literally half of what they had, and the other half is in the tank with them. So
that is amazing.
They have a lot of life. And
wow.
I've got some really small stuff up here in these incubators and.
Sure. Oh, I guess 5 different types. I was counting the glass.
You're just counting glass. Yeah.
Yeah. So we've got first stage.
Yeah, this is I can actually do from eggs on slate, or if I want to take a live fish from things. So see, there's fish in here.
Oh yeah, look at them
stacked in. They're like these two back rows are really like these guys here are really
decent.
So yeah.
Oh yeah, you can see it.
So see that real red color right there?
Yeah.
That means they've ate a lot of brine shrimp.
I see it.
So that means they're full.
That's amazing. That is amazing.
We got a little pearl scope hair here with some babies with it.
Beautiful. Oh yeah, there are babies.
So these Pinoy here, this is probably their third or fourth time.
Right.
And they do fairly well with parenting, but not perfect. So
you do strip them.
I'm fixing to take this is the size I like to take right here. So I'm going to take these today.
Yeah, look at all of them. They were earlier when I came in. They were on this leaf, and then they moved them up there. But look at all those babies.
Yeah. I can show you how I do that.
Look at them raving. I always think that they're like dancing or something.
Oh yeah,
like,
they're not dancing. Yeah, so they want to fight for real.
Absolutely.
So basically, if I want to take those, let's see if I'm going to be able to reach in there with this without taking. Yeah, I can do it without having to raise the lid. So basically, all I do is you have to get a vacuum going in this thing. Get a little siphon. Go ahead and get a little water going, and then just reach over and get some of them.
Wow.
So see, I took about half of them right then.
Look how mad they are.
They're mad. They're everywhere, but they will catch those. They will gather them right back up and put them right back.
That's amazing.
So.
Oh yeah.
So.
Wow.
So now these guys here, they just go
right into one of those.
whammo.
Wow.
Easy as pie, man.
Easy as pie. There you go, man.
Nothing hard going on in here.
That's perfect.
Let's see, I wouldn't share that with most people.
No, right.
No, I'm not kidding. I don't care. I really want people to succeed in everything they do.
Right.
I mean, I'm that guy. I want everybody to be happy.
Everybody needs to be happy. Everybody. It's such a wonderful hobby. So why would you? Yeah, I agree completely. So here's a system question, I guess. Okay. What do these little blue and green tapes mean?
Okay, green tape means that there's babies in that tank that needs baby food.
Oh, I see. So if there's green, and there are, look at that.
Yeah, it means there's babies in there. The blue means I probably had a snail problem, and I've got a couple of assassin snails.
Nice.
And that
you don't want to forget where they are.
That makes it easy to find them without having to dig out a logbook to see where they're at.
Of course,
Instead of having to look at a logbook and go where I can go. Well, there's 2 in that tank, and then I can look if I want it. I can probably find it.
Right, of course. Yeah. Well, to take an overlook, because it's very impressive, we go from stage 1, which is babies, and then we go to stage 2, which is
kind of grow out. Some
a little bit of grow out.
I know we've been experimenting with some of these smaller sizes in your store, and it seems to be working out. So basically, I always let my Pinoy just go together. I let the light and the dark just kind of go together because they're obviously easy to tell apart.
Of course.
And I do koi and stripes together because that's an easy one to tell apart too. So the next tank is basically koi and stripes.
Right.
The next tank, we just cleaned it out and took it.
Oh, this one over here. Yeah. So that's where the last ones you brought me came from.
Yeah, they come out of this tank, and then I'm going to give it a real good cleaning. The tank next to it is actually going to get moved into the clean tank, and then a deep clean on this tank.
Oh, wonderful!
So having a free tank is pretty nice.
Always.
Some of these owners are a little lengthy right now, but
this is such a nice shot right here where you can see pretty much all of them. That is amazing. Wow. So you keep filtration. What would you say is different about the way you do filtration than others?
Well, I don't really know what everybody else does. I know a lot of people run a lot of air or sponge. I do entirely hang-on back or canister. Everything I have, all my hang-on backs on all my breeders are exactly the same filter. My larger tanks, I'm running the same filter on all of them too. So filter pads, if you clean change filter pad or whatever, it's an easy switch back and forth. Everything I run, also I run UV sterilizer on everything because I don't want any disease. I don't want any green water. So, and it eliminates all that. So
that's right.
It's just another step up from where we were at 20 or 30 years ago. And if the technology is there, why not use it?
That's exactly right. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah.
It's very helpful, and I have that same opinion about UV sterilizers. At the store, I don't run them in fresh, but I run them in all of my saltwater tanks. Right. But there are so many people that don't see the benefit or have a different opinion on them. But I'm of the same opinion. I think that they help tremendously. Okay. They're great. So I guess that's filtration. As far as the tanks are concerned, I love the simplicity, the different kind of sword and then the slate or I guess tile, and then the pairs. It's just a really, really pretty setup as far as everything is concerned, and very succinct. You know, usually you walk into a fish room and it's either dirty or, you know, like, and the tanks for a breeder, it doesn't matter. If there's algae, whatever, they're munching on stuff in the algae. But you have such great systems in place, like not even just as far as like tape on the tanks for what things, and you have a logbook on what you've been doing, and that's, I mean, that is very impressive from any fish keeper standpoint. But just an amazing setup in totality. So what would you say is your next big project that you've been working on? Like which one of all of these are you most curious about?
Old number 10.
Old number 10.
These little guys right here.
Oh, cool.
They are almost a year old.
Wow.
And I have eggs. I have babies.
That
But
blue is beautiful.
In size range though, from her to this guy is almost exactly the same age.
Yeah, so if we can get both in the frame, you can see this one is a lot smaller.
Yeah.
Goodness
So,
gracious.
look, I understand that there's a lot in gene therapy.
Of course.
Or the genetics of an angelfish. And the odds of me successfully breeding those down in size is probably going to fail.
Right.
But we're going to get some pretty marbles out of it any way you go about it.
And that's right. And that's, I think we've talked about before, it's not always about, you're all right. It's not always about, you know, breeding the next thing that drives a lot of hobbyists. A lot of times it's just that enjoyment of, I want to see if I can, you know, I want to see.
That's exactly what that one is. It's I want to see what comes out.
That's right.
And with this one right here, this is not a pair that I would normally put together.
Right.
It's a Belltail Silver and a Blue Padoi male. I normally wouldn't do that, and the offspring off of that is putting something that's not new, but something that hasn't been seen in a while around here, which is a zebra stripe fish, which means it has multiple stripes, more than 3.
More than a regular, yeah.
It'll have 6 to 8 stripes, and they have been coming out so pretty, and they're so pretty they're in my inside tank. They're not.
That's right. That's
they're
right.
Not out here. So we're talking about them. I can't even show you a picture.
That's all right. That's all right.
But,
Yeah.
But yeah.
Oh, look at that little dance. That one. Oh, well, of course it's going to stop. Look at that.
Oh yeah. What are we wiggling for there?
Look at that. That's so cool.
So that's the girl right there that you're looking at, and the Belltail one is
The boys up there.
Yeah.
Beautiful. But let's just look at it again, because I'm really impressed. You usually walk into somebody's fish room and you'll catch one fish in the middle of something, but we literally have, like, we've got Mr. Koi pair over here that has all of these babies in there. We had the pair down here that's got fry. That one's laying. There's some kois on this side that are laying on the back of this piece here. Let's see if we can even see it in the video. Barely. You can see the discoloration. Yep, there it is. This one was laying when I first walked in. It is absolutely amazing what you're doing, and on the scale that you're doing it. And I am more impressed, not with the scale of all of it, but with the fact that you're still a hobbyist. Like, you still love it, man.
Oh, yeah,
and there's so many people that, like, either lose that love, or they switch gears from loving the hobby to the hobby's something that they're, you know, doing for a side hustle or whatnot. And you've just, like, walked that line and made it perfect. Like, you still love it.
I do walk the line. There's no doubt about that. I mean, but I am a hobbyist, and I love fish. And I love plecos.
That's right. You do love plecos.
And hey, I may never successfully breed a pleco on any kind of scale whatsoever, but it doesn't matter if they're mine.
You love keeping it.
I love keeping it.
That's
I don't care.
right.
And I'm the same way with angels too.
Yeah.
I mean, and look, I know this looks like a fish farm, and it's really not. And there's multiples, and like these guys that are raising out their babies in here, that they probably won't breed again for me as long as those babies are in there. So
right.
I will leave them in there until the babies start trying to eat the parents, which then the parents will let them.
Yeah.
And I hate that. So they'll probably stay in there that long just to keep them more normal. And I have more tanks inside, and I actually cycle these fish through. I will take maybe two males and put inside, and let them hang out in there for a few months.
Wow.
And maybe bring them back out and put them, or in this tank here, like, you know, there's just things that slows them wanting to reproduce down, and it's just not
Yeah.
a reproductive environment for them. So they just kind of chill out there.
That's just part of that enjoyment.
Yeah,
That's
And
fantastic.
that lets the fish live more, in my opinion, too.
That's right.
But yeah, I don't really breed them multiple times. I'll breed them a few times, and then I'll either release them into
Pass
the
them
store
on.
for someone
Yeah.
else to move on, and it's just the way I do.
That's right.
And look, I'm always looking for the next pretty angelfish. So if you got a cool one, holler at me.
That's right. That's right. So here's my final. What would you tell a hobbyist, either who's getting into it or has been into it? What's your final advice from Jeff Hutchins' Fish Room?
Get the biggest tank you can afford. Start volume, man. Volume is always good.
Everything.
If you're gonna do a community tank, volume. That's my biggest thing.
So this tank
get
from
a
that
good
tank,
filter.
yeah.
Get a good filter, man. But get what makes you happy too. If a big tank doesn't make you happy, get a small one and deal with small fish. I mean, it's all good.
That's right.
And you just hey, read something about what you're thinking about buying.
Yeah.
Learn a little bit about. Don't hate the fish because you didn't do your homework.
There you go. I
mean,
love that. That's a great one.
Look, if you've got a fish that is aggressive with each other because it's their nature, don't call it a bully.
That's right.
It's not a bully. It's doing what it's supposed to.
Yeah.
And you just have to learn to deal with it.
That's exactly right. Well, Mr. Hutchins, it has been a pleasure and an absolute, I mean, when I say pleasure, it's been beyond a pleasure to see all of this and to be able to come and talk to you today. And I hope that we can do it again, but for now,
we'll turn the TV on the next
that's
time.
that's right. That's right. He's got literally the best. This is. I was gonna end it there, but I got to show everybody. He's got a recliner. He can look at his fish. He can look at his TV. Oh my goodness! And it's just the perfect setup. Well, in any case, guys, I hope that you guys are doing well in your hobby and that your fish are all doing well. And we will see you next time.